Good afternoon again, fellow Plexers. This is an anime part 2 video for Joe that'll be shorter to drive a couple points home. So, I have this series that I worked up in my previous video, and Joe is disputing issues with episode 25 and 26 in Plex's scanner, and he's still on the old scanner and agent from over a year and a half ago or longer. So to prove this point of where the metadata is coming from and what Plex can do with it, I just added two little dummy files for an episode 27 and 28. There's no sense having an episode name for them because they don't exist, but let's go this extra step, this extra mile. Episode that doesn't exist, part 1, and we'll dummy up a name for this one too. Okay, so we've got, missed part of that. We've got two dummy episode names to go along with episodes that don't exist, which is exactly the situation if Plex is pulling episode ordering from the movie database. So we've got that out of the way. Let's bring in this test anime library I did. And now there's really not a lot I can do besides mess it up, right? So there's a couple different options. So if we go to library, I can go in and edit this show at the show level, go to advanced, and I can manually change episode ordering back to the movie database. Well, my preference for this demonstration is to do it on the library level. So I will edit, go to advanced, and now I will pull episode ordering from the movie database. I'll save the changes, and you'll see Plex is going to work already. So we want to do a couple things. We want to manage the library, and let's refresh all metadata. And for good measure, we're going to scan the library again. We're just going to do both. So now we'll go in, and we've got 28 episodes listed, but let's see what's matched up. Alright, so the last episode that has metadata is episode 24. So we've got the name of the episode, we've got the cast and crew. Well, the cast and crew may appear on this. Well, no, it doesn't. So there's no metadata to match to because we're pulling episode ordering from the movie database, and episode 25 and 26 doesn't exist there. So now if we want to, at a show level, even though the library is set up for TMDB ordering, at the show level, we can go to the advanced settings and we can change back to aired ordering. And if we had the DVD files, which would not include episode 25 and 26, we could use this. Or we could name to the absolute order. We can name to whatever we want, all four of these choices. 3 from TVDB and 1 from the movie database. Our files just have to match what we choose here. So now I'll save the changes. Plex goes to work again. And without even doing anything extra, the name for episode 25 and 26 was pulled in, but of course my two mythical episodes aren't pulled in. They didn't work under the TMDB entry or the TVDB entry because they don't exist. But these two work perfectly fine under the TVDB. And I can't go backwards in time to show a server setup that hasn't been upgraded to the latest libraries, which is why Joe needs to do this. He needs to create a test library just like I did in my first video. Just add a library, TV show, and call it anime test. If he wants to keep it, he can rename it later. But this will use the new scanner and everything. If let's go to, we have to browse for a folder, so let's browse to the same folder. Under Advanced, you should be using the Plex TV series for the scanner and the Plex series for the agent. Now you can go backwards if you want to change the agent, but none of that's necessary. Proper naming brings it in, and generally I set my library up for TVDB ordering because I'm naming from that database, Eared Ordering. That's how I'm naming everything. But manually I can adjust it to DVD or even absolute ordering or back to the ordering from the movie database. It really is this simple. Every time Plex does not scan something in, it's a failure on the server owner's part to understand fully Plex's naming conventions for series or movies. And a failure is not a bad word. You're not a bad person if you don't know how to name things properly. I have a tutorial on movies that shows that certain things can only come into Plex with an advanced movie name. And that's real easy to demonstrate before I close this video out. So let's go to the movie database. And let's find an early Goldie Hawn movie, which is simply $. If you rename this movie, just as it is here, .mkv or MP4, most likely it's not going to scan in. If you add the extra information with a source ID, which would be a curly Q bracket, TMDB dash this number, and curly Q bracket, it will scan in. Let me show you that. And that's not a huge failure. It's just understanding that there are hard things to get into Plex, and sometimes you need to use all the naming tools that are available to you. Where's my number? 31644. So again, every time something doesn't match, it's a failure of the structure and naming. And some complex things need more complex but compliant folders and file names. So this will scan in perfectly fine, just like that. So again, just try to drive a point home that it's always the structure, it's always how you've got things going, and never Plex. Thanks for watching part 2.